Hey there, welcome to the channel. Today we will be doing another Kpop Demon Hunters one-shot explanation, with today's one-shot being about Rumi and Jinu, specifically how Rumi internalizes Jinu's sacrifice after the movie. During the movie, the scene is an extremely emotional point, with it being the most climactic moment, but despite this, it doesn't have any other payoff apart from the "oh my god, Jinu has sacrificed himself" moment, because Rumi doesn't seem to be mourning him after that moment. And I found this to be a very big flaw that I really did not like in this movie, because despite all the other amazing character arcs, his sacrifice, while being a good way to conclude his ending, didn't have any lasting impact on any of the other characters, especially Rumi. So I decided to resolve this by writing this one shot. Alright, so starting off, I have my introduction of the story, and I really wanted to set this sort of somber mood for the one shot, because this is not meant to be an extremely comedic or happy setting. It is meant to be a sort of bittersweet moment for Rumi to reflect on the events of the movie and appreciate the relationship that she had with Jinu. So I start off with some vivid imagery, making it feel as though Rumi isn't that motivated today, especially with how the emotions carry forward, with it being the 1 year anniversary of Jinu's death. So I display her thoughts by writing in how she feels about Jinu, or felt about Jinu, and how despite his betrayal against her and the rest of Huntrix, she still has this connection towards him because he is the first person to ever truly accept her, and that his sacrifice had helped them defeat Guima. Now I needed to explain why she was able to do the events of this one shot, so I explained it as the girls deciding that they had defeated Guima a year ago today. It might as well let them relax as a sort of celebration towards this. So I have it raining during this scene to add towards this layer of sadness that was happening. So obviously I have her put on a raincoat and she begins to walk through the city, and I have her sort of reminisce about the events of the movie through hints of how the Saja Boy posters were no longer there, because the K-pop scene moves quite quickly, and despite them being pretty big and making it to the Idol Awards, after a year they no longer have relevancy. But in order to keep up this sort of remembering and reminiscing vibe, I have her sing Soda Pop, the obviously very catchy tune that a lot of people have been liking online. Now, in order to make this scene have more emotion, I decided that where she would be going to remember Jinu would be where they first met up outside of demon hunting, and that would be the small pagoda where they first met up, and Jinu had complimented her teddy bears and choo-choo trains pajama wear. So when she reaches the outskirts of Seoul, she comes to her destination, the pagoda, and she pushes open the doors, and she walks towards the courtyard where there is already a shrine set up, potentially from her already doing this a couple of times, like after the movie, 6 months in, all the important events to show that she still genuinely does care about Jinu, in order to show that his death had a genuine impact on her, not just a one scene hit big push of emotion like the movie did. So, in order to show that it had been there a while, I described the photograph as warm, and in order to add more emotional depth, I decided to put the bracelet that they got from the kind old lady during that one awkward love scene. Now, I have her express her thoughts towards Jinu, and she talks as if she hopes that Jinu is listening to her, talking about how despite it being a year, time hasn't made it easier, and then she begins to vent to him as well, because she still has this pent-up anger of how he still did technically betray her, but despite all that, he still meant everything towards her. And that is all I really wanted to write. She does say a few more, but I decided that having these short, sweet, simple words would mean a lot more than her just expressing so much, because this is meant to be a quiet moment. I don't want it to be bogged down by a bunch of dialogue that I wanted to cook up, so I made it short and simple. But what I have is her telling Jinu and herself that she didn't like him anymore. She hated him in the moment when he betrayed him, but she hated herself more for missing him despite his betrayal. And continuing on that, she has this thought that maybe she was always waiting for someone like Jinu to be with her. And I decide to end with a very simple idea of how she places the bracelet beside the photograph, adjusting it, making sure that the shrine is neatened up, and then she leaves. I decided to keep this short, simple, and not complicated, but if you would have preferred me to do some things differently about the scene, I will always appreciate feedback. And that's basically it. I conclude the thing with another bit of her echoing Soda Pop to continue on with the idea of her reminiscing on the times that they had missed. And that's it. Make sure to like if you decide that you like this video. You can read the full thing without my commentary on Archive of Our Own. The link is in our description, and if you want to comment about feedback that you might have, it is always welcome. With that, enjoy the rest of your day.